So Lennox Lewis, so far unbeaten in his career, and here's the man he's facing tonight, opponent number 8, Calvin Jones, who's 27. He comes from Bristol, Tennessee. He's a former social worker who only turned to boxing a couple of years ago. He says he's come here to give Lewis a shock. He said he's going to test Lennox Lewis's mettle, but that may be rather easier said than done. Jones, in fact, used to be a bare-knuckle fighter in Cincinnati. Organised bare-knuckle fights that used to apparently take place behind apartment blocks. There he is, the name for all to see. And there, getting into the ring to, it has to be said, a slightly low-key reception, Lennox Lewis. The 24-year-old who was born in London, went to Canada when he was 12 and did really big things as an amateur, culminating in the Olympic super heavyweight title in 1988 in Seoul. Lewis was due to have been featured on Eurosport recently. The fight had to be called off because Proud Kilimanjaro, his intended opponent, couldn't produce an AIDS certificate.
Contest of 8 3-minute rounds. Introducing on my right from Bristol, Tennessee, Calvin Jones. Thank you. Calvin Jones. On my left, from Crayford, London, Lennox Lewis. Thank you. At the weigh-in at 12 noon yesterday, Lewis scaled 16 stone 9 1/4 pounds, Jones scaled 17 stone 5 1/4 pounds. Your referee for the contest, Mr. Arnold Bryson. Your timekeeper, Albert Callagher. Your officials as previous contest. Thank you.
What's his name? Calvin.
So the two boxers getting their final instructions from referee Arnold Bryson. Interesting chance here to see a young man who some people say could become the first English-born world heavyweight champion since Bob Fitzsimmons at the end of the last century. Nobody has been able to really live with him so far in the pro ranks, but it's early days yet. Calvin Jones in the blue trunks. Lewis, as you can see, in the white.
Ready, back, let go.
When he won the Olympic title in Seoul, Lennox Lewis beat one of the most exciting young heavyweights around on the world scene, Riddick Bowe, who's also doing pretty well as a professional so far. That looks a very good win. He stopped Bowe in 2 rounds in Seoul. Jones, though slightly taller and 10 pounds heavier here than Lennox Lewis. His record, by our reckoning, Calvin Jones, is 13 wins, 8 of them by knockout and 4 defeats so far, though interestingly, 3 of those 4 defeats were against world champions. John Tate, who he lost to on points on his debut, Bone Crusher Smith, who took him 9 rounds. Jones stopped in the 9th round, and in that fight Jones in fact fractured a jaw, and he's hurt by that punch by Lewis early on. The clubbing little right, and he blinked a little bit. The other world champion he's fought is Tony Tucker, who beat him in 5 rounds, but Lewis here starting to unload, and Jones in some trouble here in the opening round and desperate to cover up a right hand, pitches him forward. This is going to be an early night for Lennox Lewis. He's up at 8, but these are very trying moments for the man from Bristol, Tennessee. And Lewis now just needs to pick his punches, look for the opening. And Jones already looking severely discouraged. He got him with a good left of his own there. Lewis mustn't get too careless, but look at him digging in the punches to body and head, and there's another right that really rocks Jones. And this could be a very quick finish indeed. clubbing right. Jones desperately trying to cover up. He's pitched forward, and this could be it. Will Calvin Jones get up? I don't think he really wants to, and he doesn't. First round knockout for Lennox Lewis. 8 fights unbeaten for him. Nobody's taken him beyond the 5th round, and he was never in the remotest danger of losing to Calvin Jones there. And I must say, that looks a reasonably good win for Lennox Lewis. Well, all first round wins are. Because Jones, remember, had lasted 4 rounds with Tate, 9 with Bone Crusher Smith, 5 rounds with Tony Tucker, who gave Mike Tyson such a good fight. And what did you make of Lennox Lewis there, Frank Bruno?
A very, very good performance. On paper, this will give him a lot of credibility around the world, you know, because like Tate gave him 4, as you said, Bone Crusher 9, so it gave him a lot of credibility. That was a good performance. Because this guy was supposed to be a foxy old sort of like campaigner. He don't take some people the distance, so he done very well, Lennox.
Some very good body punching in there.
Very superb body punching, you know. At the end, he got a little bit scragged in some parts, but he was digging in some hard, solid shots. Beautiful uppercuts, belly, beautiful. See that uppercut, jolted him back.
He's really switching the attack well to head and body there.
Really working him. Yeah.
Overhand rights, uppercuts, body shots like that one.
Yeah.
And I don't think Jones wanted to know much more about it, did he?
Not really. You can't blame him. Would you?
No, I certainly wouldn't. I don't think I'd have wanted to know too much more about it after the first knockdown. But of course, I'm not in there with Lennox Lewis. So that's a good win for him, all right.
Very good win.
We'll get the official announcement in just a moment.
Gentlemen, please, after 2 minutes 36 seconds of the first round, your referee Arnold Bryson counted out Calvin Jones. Your winner, Lennox Lewis. Thank you. Lennox Lewis, ladies and gentlemen.
I've got to do something.
Lewis
Calvin Jones. Your appreciation
is in fact planned for appearances in Manchester, in London, in Scotland, Birmingham, and in Canada, where he grew up after the age of 12. Good wins for him. In a moment, we're going to grab a word with Lennox. He hardly looks as if he's broken sweat in there. So Lennox Lewis is in the ring there, and we can grab a word with him. Paul Dempsey is there talking now to Lennox Lewis.
Lennox Lewis hardly out of breath, and not surprising. Just about the easiest night so far for you as a professional.
Yeah, it was easy, but I never really expected it to be easy because he went 6 rounds with Tony Tucker and he went 9 rounds with Bone Crusher Smith. So I wasn't expecting it to be that easy.
He shaped early on like he could dig himself, and he certainly looked the part getting in. But just as soon as you started to work through the guard, underneath him, the legs turned to jelly.
I think I surprised myself at my own power because I hit him, and then all of a sudden it started wobbling, and I said, hey, you know, I've got a punch behind me. And this is the only way you find out, by hitting people.
People are going to start to ask, it's getting to be a little run now as a professional, when you're going to step up in class a little bit.
I think that's going to come gradually. I don't know, there's going to be a couple of surprises on the way in the near future.
Going to give us a clue?
A little cue. Well, a little bit. I'm going after one of my goals, so...
That'll be some kind of a championship, we assume.
Yes.
Any prospect of you having a go at one of the other 2 useful British heavyweights, one of whom is at ringside, Mr. Bruno?
Well, the question still remains, is Bruno still going to box? And the other heavyweight, I don't know. But I can't really say in the near future what's going to happen. I really don't have... Maybe Frank, maybe you can...
Just before I bring you in, Frank, you do seem to be a gentleman who's enjoying the business of being a professional boxer, not just the stuff you're doing in the ring here, but the things that go with it. They seem to sit very easily with you.
They do. You know, I take one day at a time. I'm very calm, and I've got a goal. I've got a mission that I'm on.
How much more have you got to learn before you're going to start to feel like you can really be a top 10 world-class contender? Well,
I feel that way now, and the learning process never stops. Even when I'm world champion, British champion, European champion, Commonwealth champion, Canadian champion, I still will be learning.
Okay, Lennox, thanks very much indeed. Very easy performance tonight. Harder days in the future we expect for you, but it's a pleasure to see your job done so well tonight. Thanks very much.